forgot to thank our supporters, people that picked up stuff, people that have ordered wallets, hot straps, belts, things like that. Today we're gonna thank you first, and then I want to compare some Dublin and Cordovan items that we have and just talk about the differences a little bit, and then show you some of the stuff that we're gonna be prepping and shipping off today. So before I get too far, John, Kevin, Thomas, David, another David, Joseph, Beverly, Greg, Kathy, John, Paul, Zachary, Andres, Max, Paul, Walter, Lance, Frank, Raphael, Aiden, Brian, Cheyenne, Jason, Julio, Justin, Brian, Lindsay, Matt, Emily, Duncan, Sherry, Mitchell, and Matthew. Thank you guys so much. If your name is in that list, you're probably going to see one of your items today. We're going to look at it right now. So let's drink some coffee and walk on over to where all the action is. All right. So on the table, hey, what's up, Dia? Good morning. And good morning, everybody. Hi, Monk. Good to see you guys. All right, let's flip it around. And today I want to just briefly compare the difference between Dublin and Cordovan. And I should probably do a big, like, higher quality video demonstration of the differences of the two. But I was noticing as I was pulling some of the stuff that we're going to prep and ship out today, I was noticing how similar the color was between the Amaretto Shell Cordovan here and the Dublin here. But let's look really closely at the differences of the grain of the two, because there's a very distinct difference in the texture and character of that surface. So if you look closely at the Dublin, very, very grainy, very intense holes, the little small, if I go super, super close, which you probably can't focus on, you can see all these little small hair holes that we call the grain. And on the Cordovan, there's none of that. It's very, very flat and smooth. But the interesting thing is the Dublin leather is sort of derivative of the Cordovan, and that's because the tree barks that go into the tanning process to make the Cordovan are the same tree barks that go into the Dublin. So you get a lot of that same beautiful veg character, all the molding and ability to develop a patina is translated into this leather. And so it's very nice. And I should have started off by saying both of these leathers are super great. So neither of them is better or worse. They're just a little bit different. So the defining characteristics, very, very bright, shiny, and smooth on the Cordovan leather, and very, very flat. There's not a whole lot of texture to it, where the Dublin is very, very grainy, a lot of figuring, and then also the Dublin has a wax layer finished on top of the grain, so you get this beautiful burst effect. So there's more depth of color in the Dublin leather. So that's a very, very quick comparison of those. I see you guys chatting here. Good morning, Lance, Miles, Peter, Jesse. Good to see you guys. Oh, Las Vegas. I got to get out to Vegas. All right, so let's look at these. This one still needs to be polished up. In fact, everything that we're going to look at, or most of them, still need to have final polishing, and some of them need to have their edges finished. So the Amaretto Shell Cordovan here, my favorite Shell Cordovan color, really beautiful, bright, sort of tan shade. It's got a nice orange to it. And then some angles, it gets a little bit more red and darker. And then other angles, a little bit lighter and more yellow, a little bit more golden. So this Bugs Moran, I'm going to prep out, get sent out today. We also have that Bugs Moran in the English tan Dublin that we're looking at. I think there's a few of these going today. Incredible grain character on all of them. This one you can see we haven't started on the edges, but if you look at that Fat Herbie there, that's the difference of how this will be finished. So we add a little bit of color and then wax and burnish it, so it gets a little bit more of a smooth sort of polish. Kind of looks like a finished piece of wood on the edges once we're done with it. Here's a really nice looking Bugs Moran also. And this has our hand stained edges, if I can grab it. So you can see the edges of this guy have been filled in with color as well as wax. So we get a really nice matching color and finished edge that matches the Color 8 Shell Cordovan perfectly. This is the same exact stains that are used at the tannery, and we put them on the edges of the wallet. You can see like a little bit of wax that has been blended in there. That's not a scratch. These are all the things that we're going to work on today, polish up before we send off. LA, can you give us more information on Horween shell Cordovan against other tanneries? I did a video on that. It's about an hour long going into some of the differences. I'm not really interested in talking negatively about other tanneries. But all I can say is I really like the Horween stuff more. If you want to check out like a longer video comparing all the shell Cordovan from around the world, I did a video about 2 years ago that's called Leather Appreciation 101. So check that out. It's on the channel, and it's one of my favorite videos that I've done. We go through all the different leathers, all the different shell Cordovan leathers from different tanneries. Here's one of the best items that we have right now. Still need to polish, like wax and burnish the edges on this, but you can see the stain color has been applied to this 100% color 8 shell Cordovan Johnny the Fox. Once we wax and burnish that again, you can see the difference between the fox there and these edges here. This is how it gets to eventually. A lot more filled in once we wax and burnish it. It's one of my favorite wallets that we do. It's really tough to get thin pieces of shell for the insides of the Johnny the Fox, so they're a little bit more rare for us to produce. We're trying to make some more Johnny the Foxes with shell Cordovan on the outside, like this raw natural shell Cordovan here, which is really beautiful, great for patina. We're trying to do more foxes with the non-Cordovan interior. A lot of people like a full shell wallet like the fox there, but I actually prefer the non-shell interiors because they're a little bit thinner. I think they just are a little bit more easily used, where sometimes those Cordovan pieces are just a little bit too thick and we're not able to make as many of them. So we're going to be trying some more options of the Johnny the Fox, just like this guy here, raw natural with the natural latigo on the inside. And again, for patina, the raw natural that you see here, this is as good as it gets. You're going to find the most dramatic patina on a light color shell like this. Anything that's a light color or a veg tan, you're going to get a really big change with the color and the luster, which I really like. I think a lot of our customers really like seeing that transformation. Let's keep it going. We've got a passport holder, English Tan Dublin. This is our largest pattern piece right now. And I love seeing this extra large context on the outside. Really beautiful piece of English Tan Dublin there. Speaking of English Tan Dublin, our most popular color, got a Capone money clip. Still need to polish this guy up and put the hardware inside of it. I think there's a few of these Capones going out today, and they're also really beautiful. You can see the lightly stained edge. It's a little bit more transparent of a finish that we use on the Dublin leathers. We got a bunch of Apple Watch bands going out today in the natural shell Cordovan, and that's what this one is here, natural shell Cordovan. You can see on the back just how nicely stitched these are. It's really difficult to produce a watch strap, surprisingly. It's very fine work. It's pretty difficult to make a really clean stitch. It's actually more difficult than stitching the belts, which is interesting. Here's another really good natural shell piece. This is our keychain belt clip that I really like. I use one of these every day. The one I have is in color 8 shell, but the natural shell piece here is kind of making me want to switch colors. LA, we do, if you want to send us an email, we can set you up with that. So send an email to info@ashlandleather.com. A few watch straps going out. Here's one of the last, in fact, this is the last irregular comb sheath. This is the smaller comb from Chicago Comb. It's a black finish on a piece of stainless steel. And then we put it in our English Tan Dublin leather sheath. So that's the last one of those going out. Check out the grain on this. This is our vault key holder. If you look really closely, this one has like extra grain character, and it's really, really beautiful. One of the more dramatic grains I've seen on the Dublin. Very, very intense. It almost looks like a shadowed grain, like the dye hit it at an angle or something. So you could achieve this effect at a tannery by angling the spray guns, their spraying color, and get that color onto there that looks like this. But I think this is just the natural character on the Dublin there. Here's another cool piece. We got a lighter sheath with the reverse black shell Cordovan. Reverse side of black shell is a greenish shade. I don't think there are any other black shell pieces here. All right, doesn't matter. Another really beautiful wall. This is the small zip, and the shell on this small zip that we're going to prep and ship out today is a really, really nice piece of leather. Really bright and shiny, very, very smooth. On the inside of this one, we have black horsehide latigo. And that's a really, really good small zip right there. Here's another rare piece. This is extremely rare. So cigar shell Cordovan here, this is 100% cigar shell. And when you compare the cigar to the color 8, you can see that the cigar is more of a straight up brown shade, where the color 8 underneath below, you can see much more of those red burgundy tones come out. The cigar shell Cordovan is much more of a true brown. Very, very nice to see the 100% cigar shell here. And then this one also still needs to get polished up on the edges. You can see we've applied the cigar hand staining to the edges here, which cleans it up very nicely. And once that one gets finished off, that's about as good as it gets. Here's another 100% shell piece, but this is the Fat Herbie. This is a larger wallet. This is the style that I prefer to wear. And this is all color number 8 shell Cordovan. Classic look. Same hand stained edges here. Still need to wax and burnish that all up. You know, really, really clean it up. But a huge pattern piece on the shell is really nice to see. Just a really bright, shiny luster and super, super smooth. Like I said, we haven't even polished it yet, so it's only going to get better. Here's another awesome. The English Tan Dublin pieces are coming out really clean looking right now. So this is the English Tan Dublin Fat Herbie. It's a really beautiful shade. I like this sort of orangey tan look, both on the inside and the outside. And I know we have several of these going out today, which is great to see because I love the Fat Herbie and I want everybody to experience this wallet. I think it's the best back pocket wallet around. Got a couple more here. Black and Teal Fox. The grain on this Dublin, on the outside, the black Dublin, is very, very intense. Really beautiful grain character on the Dublin here. And we were comparing the Dublin and shell Cordovan earlier. This is something that you will not see on the shell Cordovan. That intense figuring and character in the leather, those little bits of striations, don't really occur in the shell. Sometimes you get a little bit of them, but they're very, very rare. And I love the combination of the black and teal together. Still need to finish the edges on that guy. All right, natural shell Cordovan Capone money clip. That looks really nice. All of these have a natural wax and burnished edge, so there's no color applied to the edges of this wallet. I still need to shine this one up a tiny bit, it looks like. And then we got the natural shell on the inside with the silver spring bar money clip. And a couple leather products that are going out today. This is Tanner's Blend Conditioner. I love this product for nourishing all of the fibers of the leather, anything that feels a little bit dried out, or if you're washing a shoe or boot or some other leather good, you're going to want to nourish it if you're using any soaps. So wash it, use the soap and water, let it dry, and then apply some conditioner. Treat it similarly to how you would treat your hair. Here's another thing that we're sending out today, Saphir Cordovan Cream. This is the product that we use on all the stuff I was just talking about that we need to polish up. We put this on every piece of shell Cordovan. And Venetian Shoe Cream, this is the product that is packaged specially for Horween Leather Company. Nice big 6-ounce bottle here. This will last a long time. And it's a glass bottle. I have been using this on my footwear, and I think it's a really great product for that. The tannery Horween uses this on every piece of shell Cordovan before they send it out. And I've got a few belts that we're working on to ship out today. There's more than these, I think. But this is the English Tan Dublin. Again, really beautiful burst effect. As you flex the leather, you can reveal a little bit of these lighter tones that are inside of there. And it's a really great look. Color 8 Chrome Excel, which is the same color in concept as the shell Cordovan. That nice brown burgundy, and then natural shell Cordovan. So we'll answer your questions here in a second. So if you got some questions, drop it in the chat. I'll be reading chat now. But I'm also going to give you a sneak preview for what's coming later today, or in a couple hours, hopefully. I've got a couple irregular belts. Actually, I have many irregular belts. The ones on the table here are things that don't really exist anywhere. I've got a couple one-piece shell Cordovan belts that are irregular because of this cracking in the center. So you can see this shell goes all the way through the belt, and there's no seams to it. And unfortunately, it has cracked in the center, which is going to make this one irregular. So we're going to put it up at a pretty big discount. But this is a pretty special piece that Genuine Horween Products made and offered a couple years ago. They haven't been able to make many one-piece shell belts in the last couple of years. In fact, I don't think they've made any. So this is a rare piece from years ago, but it is an irregular because of that cracking. There's also one here in color 8. If you're curious, the size of the natural is a 40, and the color 8 is a 36. So That's a 36 there. Those are really, really special. You can see what the joint looks like on this 2-piece shell belt. This is also very difficult to get even 2 pieces. So this one is also an irregular that I'll be putting up. And this one, 36 inches. So be on the lookout for those. And I have an old belt that we used to do called the Bucktown belt. This is in a leather called Auburn, which is sort of similar to the Dublin, where it has that nice burst effect. You can see a little bit of a lighter undertone there. And actually, I think this is Auburn. This one kind of looks like a Chrome Excel, but more grainy. And it has that wax layer on the surface. Actually, this might be Chrome Excel. I was just noticing like how fibrous the edges are. This might be just a brown. Let's flip it around, answer some questions, drink some coffee, and then we got to get to work here. So you guys had any questions, happy to chat. But everybody that's picked up something over the last day, your stuff was in the video we just looked at, or on the table of all the stuff that we looked at. And I can't thank you enough for supporting us. Good morning. All right, I missed a bunch of chat here. Oh, Aaron, you got me 2 days in a row. Awesome, man. Among started with the blue and then green this year, red strap. The most red color that we can do on the Cordovan is the garnet. Can you give us more information on Horween versus other tanneries? Yeah, check out the Leather Appreciation 101 video. Breaking in your made-to-order Tony the Ant World of Concrete. At the World of Concrete. What does that even mean? Miles, you got your reverse shell wallet a couple months ago, holding up great. That's good to hear, man. All right, sorry everybody that I missed the chat from. Okay, so stay tuned to the channel here later today. I've got actually other things. I snuck up some irregulars on the site yesterday evening. So it's only been a little bit that these have been up. There's a couple things I wanted to show. Maybe I'll show you right now. Some of these irregular, or these aren't even irregulars. These wallets are irregular. So yeah, if you're looking at the site right now, this natural shell Cordovan Bugs Moran is up on there, and it's a shop worn one, so it's like, I think it's 40% off. So but it does show signs of wear. So it's got scuffs and scratches. Natural shell bugs. There's a couple black shell Cordovan Bugs Moran also these are actually really clean and nice. You can see the hand sand edges on these. These are also discounted for some scuffs and scratches in the leather. It's probably pretty hard to see, but there's like a little dent right there. There's actually 2 different ones of those. And Frank the Enforcer Color 8 shell. This is also a regular. There's a bunch of little scratches right there, but otherwise it's a very clean piece. There's an Amaretto shell Cordovan Frank. That looks really great. And then I've got these here. These are some hand glazed reverse color 8 Franks. And you might be able to see immediately. Normally the reverse Cordovan is a little bit more dull. So we've applied we call it hand glazing. So we've applied a little bit of a finish to it to sort of expedite what you could expect the reverse shell Cordovan to look like. So you can see it's almost like a mirror-like shine. Very, very bright and shiny. And then each of these are individually numbered. So that's number 2. On number 1, actually, this is the lightest color of all of them. Still has that shine to it, which is really nice. I really like the fade on the back here. So it's kind of got like a burgundy on the left, and then it fades slightly to the right. And all of these are a little bit more unique. So let's skip to these other darker ones. In fact, the 5th one here, this is number 5. This one has like a really cool splatter look. And then we hand glazed it also. World of Concrete's a big cement worker convention in Vegas. Dude, that's awesome. There must be new concrete tech to show off. So those are really sweet. These are up on the private stock page. These are up on the irregular page. And then I also have these wallets, which are 100% black shell Cordovan. These are also irregulars. Little scuffs and scratches that they're sort of tough to see. I think this one has a little sting right there. But these are really sweet. These are something that we're sold out of as normal stock right now, and we get questions about them all the time. The irregulars are a pretty sweet deal. So I'm surprised that there's a couple of these left. And then here's a little bit of a tragedy. This is a really beautiful black shell Cordovan with a reverse interior fox. Got a natural wax and burnish edge. This one's been personalized. So I don't know if your initials, if you have 4 initials for some reason, or if your name is somehow like Habs, this is a pretty awesome irregular also. So a bunch of those are up. And then also later today, I'll flip it around. Later today, I'm also going to be putting up some irregular belts. There's not many, but if you look here, these are the irregular belts. There's like 4 or 5 of each color. Most of them are not so bad, and I'll make a longer video about them. Some of them have like little looseness, like you see there in a small section, but the rest of the belt is like totally fine. So that's a pretty good, I don't know, it's a serviceable belt. It's just not up to our normal standards. So we'll be putting those up later today. All right, enjoy the world of concrete, Jesse. That's so awesome. And everybody else, thank you for checking out the video today. Everybody that's picked up a wallet or a watch strap or a belt, thank you so much. If you have any questions about the difference between Chrome Excel and Dublin, happy to help. So let me know, and I'll see you guys later.